What is up, you? It's your boy Toon TV. Let's get into this video, guys. We're not even going to delay. Right now, what I'm doing is I am heading to Bolivar, Tennessee, to see if I can find somebody to make these shirts, so I can get these shirts made or whatever for my custom logo and everything like that. We're gonna see how that goes. I do not know, but anyway, guys, let's not delay. Let's get into it, and I will see you when I get to the shirt store. Like that. We're gonna see how that goes. I do not know, but anyway, guys, let's not delay. Let's get into it, and I will see you when I get to the shirt store. Sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I am sorry. What happened was, thought I pressed the record button, shot my whole video, got in the car, started looking for it, didn't even have it. So anyway, we're back at home. The shirts, I got 5 shirts. Okay, 5 shirts. Got them for a pretty good price or whatever. Got the shirt situation taken care of. One of those shirts will be, talked about in a giveaway when I decide who wins, and I get to figure out what size you wear and everything. But I'm also gonna add another video into this, which is really gonna be a 2-in-1. I'm going to talk about editing and what all do you guys need as far as editing wise, and everything like that. Gimbals that I recommend, gimbals that I don't recommend. We're going to talk about all of this. It's going to be more for guys that are starting YouTube, that want to use their phone, or that's a little intimidated with the whole camera situation, or spending money on a camera and spending money on, or you're not as computer savvy. I'm computer savvy, but I just hate using a computer. I'm just a handheld guy. That's just how I am. But I got to get all of this stuff set up because, as you can see, I literally have all my recording gear out. I know you guys like, this guy has a dope scale. No, the scale that I'm using is going to measure the lenses and stuff for me, so I can let you guys know the reason behind why I recommend a certain type of gimbal over another gimbal. But anyway, guys, we're gonna get into this video, so let's step right into it. This video is gonna cover key questions that I mostly receive in my DMs or in my comment section, or anytime I go on a car meet or anything like that. Okay, we're gonna jump right into this. We're not gonna delay. It's gonna be a fairly long video because it's a lot of detail that I need to put out. Okay, the first question I get is, do you have to have a camcorder or a good camera? Yes and no. It depends on what's your reason, like what's the reason that you're gonna do YouTube, and what are you trying to achieve, and what's your goal? My goal is to be like the badass phone recorder. That's just something that I want to do. Okay, I cannot stand using computers. The reason why is because I was from the country, and right now I'm living in the city, but I'm on the outskirts of the city. Internet is absolutely ass here. It will literally take 40 hours to hell, damn near 3 days for me to even be able to possibly get a video out to you guys because the internet is just so bad here. So I like editing on a phone, and that's honestly why I stopped YouTube a long time ago. I stopped YouTube because of my data reasonings. But with the phone, and I figured out, hey, you can actually shoot with your phone, and iPhone released the 4K camera. I'm like, whoa, you know, this is going to be something that I want to dive into, and I'm in love with it. With my phone, my data is obviously faster. I can sit here and upload, and the longest that it normally take me is 45 minutes. It'll take me 45 minutes or sometimes 30 minutes, depending on how long the video is, you know, it actually is. So that covers that question of, you know, should you get a camera? I mean, it just depends. If you got really good internet and you get a really good camera and everything, that's awesome. But do you necessarily need one? No, you really don't. I mean, the way technology is now, the way these phones are now, you guys have seen my videos. Some of you guys have seen it in 4K. They are amazing, and it's amazing what they do. Okay, getting into what you should use to edit with. What I use to edit with is LumaFusion. Okay, they make it for Apple. They make it for just pretty much Apple products. I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I think they do make it for Android. I'm not for sure what Android does or what they have, but my preferred recording device is the iPhone X, iPhone XS, and XX Max. Due to the sheer size of the data you get, so you can have a lot of projects on your phone. I plan on getting another phone just as a recording phone. Like I said, they record in 4K, 60 frames per second, and you can lower it. But with LumaFusion, it's just a long list of what you can do with LumaFusion. I mean, you can like certain videos, I forgot to change my quality to 4K, but with LumaFusion, you can, when you export the file, you can export it into 4K, and you can pick whatever frame rate you want. It's just a lot of things that you can do with LumaFusion. I mean, I know a lot of you guys have noticed that my editing has gotten better. It's because I'm using LumaFusion. LumaFusion is just exactly like a PC. Literally, it looks exactly like a computer once you get into it. I used to use Sony Vegas on the PC, but I no longer use that anymore. I've strictly converted just using my phone. You can use green screen effects. I mean, that's how you guys see that I have the dancing ninja and a lot of the little funny memes or whatever. All of that is used with LumaFusion. Now, the app that comes with an iPhone is also pretty good, because that's what I started out using also, which is iMovie. I still use iMovie, actually. What I do is anything that I need to get detailed, like if it's a song and I have like a short movie clip, like on my most recent video, what I did there was I edited the most detailed part into LumaFusion, and then I would save that video, and then I would put it in the iMovie to piece the whole file together, because iMovie is just simpler. Just iMovie is just simple to the basics. LumaFusion, it gets confusing, and it's just a lot of, you'll see a lot of chopping bits and pieces, just putting everything together. But I just don't like, I don't want it to get too big in LumaFusion where I'm seeing a bunch of stuff, because I might get confused. So I'd rather just piece together what I needed to edit really well and really detailed in, and then I save it and I put it in an iMovie. So iMovie and LumaFusion. Sorry, Android guys, y'all don't have iMovie. I think y'all do have LumaFusion. I mean, if I would get into a detailed video on showing you guys how I edit and how I do all that, but that's just going to take entirely too long. And if it's requested, I mean, I'll highly consider doing a video, but there's plenty of videos online of how to use LumaFusion. The third thing we're getting into is what could you do to make your videos better? I'm going to say this. You have to get yourself a gimbal. You have to. There's something, I mean, your videos are going to be shaky. I know on my last Cars and Coffee video, my video was kind of shaky and I was using a gimbal, but I'm going to get into that and the reason why you should. Reason why. Okay. What gimbal do I recommend? Honestly, it just depends on you and it depends on what you're going to use. I highly recommend you get yourself an anamorphic lens because it gives that cinematic view and it's a different lens that adds in to how everything look. The anamorphic lens I used on the Cars and Coffee video, it just adds that cinematic view to it so well. But if you're gonna, the gimbal that I use is the Snopa Atom. Now, I love, but I hate this thing. The reason why is when it's just my phone and nothing else, there's no NV filter on it or anamorphic lens. It balances out my phone pretty well. And what a gimbal does is it steadies your phone. I mean, it takes away all the shakiness and everything. Like I said, with this alone and my phone with no case, it does pretty well. But I'm gonna tell you guys the secret to picking out the best gimbal, which, I mean, it's trial and error, guys. I didn't learn my lesson. Well, I mean, I learned my lesson. It's trial and error. You all, you know, it's all trial and error. I just said that like 5 times. Anyway, yeah, so, and what I mean by that is, you know, I never knew anything about payload. And that's the issue that I'm having with this gimbal. The Snopa Atom has a payload of, I think, about 303 grams. The iPhone weighs 200, and iPhone XS without a case weighs 200 grams is what I use the scale to measure with. That's why I showed you guys the scale earlier. So this has a payload, and what payload is it pretty much is how much this thing can hold in weight, pretty much, before it just wigs out and it becomes almost impossible to balance it. Because you have to balance the phone with the Snopa Atom to help the motors on it. But 202 grams on an iPhone with the Snopa Atom is perfect. It loves it. It can balance it good. It can do whatever you want it to do. It has an app for it. Everything works fine. But the minute you start adding the Moment case, and along with I haven't just tried it with an anamorphic lens, but it may be easier to balance with just an anamorphic lens, but that I'm not sure. But the minute you start adding a anamorphic lens, which is, Jesus Christ, it's gonna be hard for me to get this out. Hold on, I have to get this out this way. Okay, the minute you start adding an anamorphic lens, which is this right here, this bad boy right here, as you can see, the lens flare, how it makes the lens flare go sideways or whatever. You can kind of see it in here. Yeah, the minute you start adding this, which I'm gonna go ahead and weigh this for you. So we got 200 grams. We're gonna have to do some math here, guys. So we got the scale here. This one is another. My scale is now not wanting to work correctly. But anyway, I weighed this earlier. I think it comes out to be, with the rewind. Okay, you have the anamorphic lens. You have the NV filter, which is, it kind of blocks out the sunlight. I got a variable NV filter. That way I can adjust the sunlight. It just makes the video look so much clearer. It just adds more depth to your video, more quality to your video. And of course, you have to get the adapter for it, for the anamorphic lens. The minute you add all of that on there, I think it's an additional almost 200 grams. So, you know, it has a bit of weight to it. And when you add about 400 grams onto this, then you have to start getting into, what do you call it? Counterweights. The counterweights, you can add them on a gimbal, depending on which gimbal you buy. They come with counterweights for whatever you're going to record with. I think, don't get me lying, guys. I know it starts with an A. It has a payload of actually 800, and that's one that I probably should have bought in the first place. But, you know, when you have these and you don't have counterweights that you can add to like a Snope or a Tom or whatever, you use quarters, or you know, you can use quarters and tape. That's what I did, and that's what I used to shoot the Cars and Coffee one. But because it was so much over the payload, even though I balanced it out, the video was still shaking a little bit. Anytime I would move, it would shake. So I'm gonna have to get another gimbal, which brings me to my fourth thing. Guys, if you're gonna do YouTube, okay, if you're gonna do YouTube, you're gonna have to spend some money to excuse me, you're gonna have to spend some money to invest in whatever you want to do. If this is your dream, this is your passion, like it is mine, you're gonna have to invest. As you can see, Snope or Tom, the gimbal, it cost me, I want to say $175. But the crazy part about it, the new gimbal that I'm gonna get is gonna be like $500. On upwards to $700, because it said I can pivot. I think it's a Ronin. The Ronin. I'm gonna make it work for my phone now, and that one has a payload of like 8 pounds, so perfect. I got to get counterweights just so it can register that there's something there, because the iPhone is just so light. But anyway, you're gonna have to spend money, guys. Like, honestly, I'm gonna have to get me a GoPro, because I learned that GoPro actually can link to your phone and you can pull the videos off of it, and you don't have, it's just not synced with a computer, which is great. But anyway, guys, I mean, I have the gimbal, a little tripod for my gimbal, a car stand right here. This is full of mics. Literally, it is full of cords and full of mics. That is all that is. It's different types of mics for different types of things that I want to do, because I also want to get into indie filming for my friends. This is like a cheap off-brand Activion CX. I mean, I don't like it because it dies too quick, and but yeah, this is like a GoPro. You got more car stands, or whatever you call it. This is a tall tripod that I pretty much rigged up because it broke on me. This is one of the first things that I was using. I still have that. I have the anamorphic lens, the NV filter, the anamorphic lens adapter, and I have all these different cords, and I also have a anamorphic well, I got the anamorphic already. I forgot what this one is called, but it's an adapter for it. I have, you know, all of these different things I have invested for you guys and for my YouTube channel. You can't go about it the cheap way. Well, you can, but whenever you spend money and you put hard work in, your results are gonna show. That's one reason why people have enjoyed my edits. It's because I've spent many hours watching other YouTubers. You're gonna have to bite their style a little bit, make it your own. You know, I watch other YouTubers at night. I figure out different filming angles, and I also go back and I watch myself and I critique myself, and I ask myself at the end of every video, you know, if I was somebody new coming to a YouTube channel, would I watch this video? When I make a thumbnail, which that's something that I got to work on, I ask myself, would I click on this video? You're just going to have to invest in yourself, okay? You're always going to have to invest in yourself. But to wrap up everything that we talked about, I hope I haven't talked about something twice or anything. It's like really hard to sit here and talk and try to remember what I've covered and what I haven't covered. To wrap up everything, make sure that you invest in your brand, you invest in yourself. Like, I have shirts coming Friday. I'm gonna be at the track Friday if it doesn't rain, because it's gonna storm. So, I have that editing software that I use, LumaFusion, iMovie, iPhone XS, or any phone that you can find that has 4K quality on it. If your phone has 4K, even 1080p, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, even 1080p, you can use the apps on your phone to be able to be a YouTuber, to be able to make vlogs, to be able to do anything like that. The sky's the limit. Gimbals that I recommend and that I don't recommend, if you just, just find a gimbal, any gimbal that has a good review and a good payload. If you're gonna be putting like a big light on the side of it or two handles on it, because honestly, the more you can get your hands on it, the more stable your video is gonna be. It's not gonna be stable if I keep dropping it, but yeah, just anything that has a good payload that you can, if you want to add a bunch of stuff on there, get a good payload one, okay? If you're just going to use your phone and you don't care about filters or anything like that, Snowport Tom has 303. That's one of for the gimbals, that's a good one. The most that I've seen, I forgot what it's called. It starts with an A. It has a payload of 800. Just look it up online. Literally, just look it up online and you'll be good. What else? I think that I've covered everything. So anyway, guys, this is a fairly different video. If you guys was wondering, what do I use, and just simple advice for small YouTubers from a small YouTuber that has some background on editing. Like I said, when I had my gaming channel, I used to use Sony Vegas, so I kind of have a knowledge, and I had a computer class, so I'm not an full amateur when it comes to editing videos. Like I say, I utilize green screens in my videos. That's how I have all the guys, dancing and shit in the background. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, if you found my information helpful, even if you didn't find it helpful, comment and let me know that, hey, you don't know shit. Yeah, it will not affect me. But anyway, guys, if you like this video, you liked what I gave you advice on, and you found it helpful in any type of way, and if you need any pointers, or if you want me to actually release a video of me actually editing something, then shoot me matter of fact, no, just comment down below like, hey bro, like, go ahead and do a video for us of how you edit stuff, including green screens and whatever you guys want to see. Okay, anyway, this is Toon TV. Give me that thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Like I said, this is going to be a fairly long video because it's a lot of information that I got to try to push out, and that I got to try to remember to push out. Anyway, I love you guys. Thanks for the love and support. I've literally said that this video is over like 5 damn times. But we out.